In any event, guys, we'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight. We have our final performer of the evening. And this is a really fun one for me because I directed this girl when she was when I was teaching high school. And she was in my high school show. And she couldn't call me Larry if the world ended tomorrow. I am Mr. McKenna. So anyway, Allie grew up in Radnor, PA, attended the illustrious Radnor High School where she met Mr. McKenna, and went on to receive her undergraduate degree in sports and entertainment marketing from St. Joseph's University. In parentheses, go Hawks, she was right there with you. I just played a party at Overbrook Country Club 2 weeks ago with Phil Martelli was there. So, and he was in my show, Bert and Me, as well, and he got the best laugh of the whole night. As much a stage manager as a performer, Allie has been behind the scenes for over 15 plays and musicals, including Godspell, Romeo and Juliet, Titanic the Musical, and most recently Hairspray. On stage, favorite roles have included the old lady Blair Daniels in Sunday in the Park with George, Aunt Sadie in My Favorite Year, and Maria in West Side Story, and I'm noticing senior musicals not listed here?
Too famous.
Yeah. Here, she is here tonight solely for fun, since she does not pursue performing as a profession. She does, however, work in the business. Allie works in education outreach at Delaware Theater Company in Wilmington, a wonderful theater. Artistic director Bud Martin from Cardinal O'Hara High School. And I had the wonderful experience of working on Outgoing Tide there. It is a marvelous theater, and Allie does a fantastic job there. Stage manages during the summer at Upper Darby Summer Stage, her home away from home. At this time, I'd like to introduce Miss Steele.
To my cabaret entitled 100 Easy Ways to Lose a Man. Chapter 1. Now the first way to lose a man. You've met a charming fellow and you're out for a spin. The motor fails and he just wears a helpless grin. Don't bat your eyes and say, what a romantic spot we're in. Just get out, crawl under the car, tell him it's the gasket, and fix it in 2 seconds flat with a bobby pin. That's a good way to lose a man. He takes you to a baseball game. You sit knee to knee. He says the next guy up at bat will bunt. You'll see. Don't say, ooh, what's a bunt? This game's too hard for little me. Just say, bunt? What are you, nuts? With no outs, 2 men on base, and a left-handed batter coming up, he'll walk right into a triple play, just like it happened in Game 5 of the World Series in 1923. That's a sure way to lose a man. A sure way to lose a man. A splendid way to lose a man. Just throw your knowledge in his face. He'll never try for second base. 98 ways to go. The third way to lose a man. The lifeguard at the beach that all the girlies adore swims bravely out to save you from the ocean's roar. Don't say, oh thanks, I would have drowned in just 1 second more. Just push his head underwater, yell, last one in's a rotten egg, and race him back to shore. That's a swell way to lose a man. You found your perfect mate, and it's been love from the start. He whispers, you're the one to who I give my heart. Don't say, I love you too, my dear. Let's never, never part. Just say, I'm afraid you've made a grammatical error. See, it's not to who I give my heart, it's to whom I give my heart. You see, with the use of the preposition to, who becomes the indirect object, and the use of the word whom imperative, which I can easily show you by drawing a very simple chart. That's a swell way to lose a man. A fine way to lose a man. A dandy way to lose a man. Just be more well-informed than he. You'll never hear, oh, promise me. Just show him where his grammar errs. Then mark your towels, hers and hers. Yes, girls, you too can lose your man if you just use my foolproof plan. 100 Thank you so much. As Mr. McKenna said, I'm very excited to be here because this is not a profession that I pursue, so this is really just a night of fun for me. So thank you all for being here. It really means a lot to me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Allie. I live here in Philadelphia. I'm 24 years old, and I am single. The proper response is, oh my god, no way, or something. That's fine, thank you. But for those of you who do know me, I heard some very well-placed laughs. You know that song hits very close to home. Two of my favorite things are talking baseball and correcting people's grammar. So we fit in nice company. Accompanying me tonight is Mr. Owen Pelesh. And I'm going to be singing songs that have to do with being single. This next number, it has to do with the benefit of being single is that you're not tied down. So you get to go out, have a couple of drinks with fire friends, let your hair down, let go of your inhibitions, let all say no, like sometimes you just want to do that.
Are you feeling okay now?
Am I alright? Ask me, how do I feel? Ask me now that we're cozy and clingy. Well, sir, all I can say is if I were a bell, I'd be ringing. The moment we kiss tonight, that's the way I've just got to behave. Boy, if I were a lamp, I'd light. Or if I were a bed right away. Ask me, how do I feel? Little me with my quiet upbringing. Well, sir, all I can say is if I were a gate, I'd be swinging. And if I were a watch, I'd start popping my spring. Or if I were a bell, I'd go ding dong, ding dong, ding. Ask me, how do I feel from this chemistry lesson I'm learning? Well, sir, all I can say is if I were a bridge, I'd be burning. Yes, I knew my morale would crack from the wonderful way that you looked. Boy, if I were a duck, I'd quack. Or if I were a goose, I'd be cooked. Ask me, how do I feel? Ask me now that we're finally caressing. Hal, if I were a salad, I know I'd be splashing my dressing. Ask me how to describe this whole beautiful thing. Well, if I were a bell, I'd go ding dong, ding dong, ding. Thank you so much. For this next number, I'm going to talk about, or sing about, the not so fun part of being single, which is that sometimes you tend to look back on past relationships, especially the good ones, and you tend to question yourself. Did I do something wrong? Did I mess up? Did I really want to break up with that person? Do I want to be with them? And it can be a really lonely and self-deprecating time. And this next song is about looking back on a past relationship and wondering what that person is thinking, and wondering if you ask them back, would they take you back or not? And with this number, I get to fulfill two of my great dreams. One of those is that I get to be a country singer. Carrie Underwood is one of my idols. I got to see her in November, and it was life-changing. Yeah, you will. And the other great dream of mine is to sing on stage with my brother Ben. So I'm going to bring him up here now.
I'm going to interrupt for a second. I'm going to fuel this little dream since you have a DJ from the Philadelphia's country station, we got to bring Brian McKay up to introduce our newest country segment.
I sit next to you every morning on my way to work.
People ask me, how do I sound on the air? Well, what do you think? Philadelphia's country station 92.5 XTU and Brian McKay sharing the workload together. And now we have a woman from Nashville, Delaware, who is probably going to be one of the winners in the Colgate Country Showdown someday. Give a warm round of applause for Miss Allie Steele.
Thank you so much for that fabulous introduction. So this song is originally by Randy Travis, redone by Carrie Underwood, and it is called I Told You So. Suppose I call you up tonight and told you that I love you, and suppose I said I want to come back home, and suppose I cried and said I think I finally learned my lesson. Seriously, like, you don't even know. But as a single gal, I can say that I never have a shortage of wonderful men in my life because I have 2 amazing brothers and an awesome dad, and they're all here tonight. So. My sister and my mom would get great girls too. So this next number also tackles an issue with being single, and that is if you're like me and you have a tough time in a relationship or out of a relationship, really any time, you do what we call eat your feelings. And this next song has a great big story behind it, and some people in this room know this story. So when I was a senior at St. Joseph's University, the hope never dies, I had the honor, the pleasure of portraying Jan in our production of Grease. And now known as Hungry Jan, my Twitter name, follow me at Hungry Jan. Great. And so what I like to do when I'm in a show is I like to make up alternate lyrics for the songs in the show. So my good friend Annabelle Garcia, who's here tonight, was portraying Marty in that production of Grease, and we decided that the plot line was just too boring. So we decided that Marty and Jan were actually having a secret love affair. And within that, Marty sings the song Freddie My Love, which is about her boyfriend in the Marines, clearly about Jan. Okay, so, and then Jan proceeded to eat her feelings. And we decided to rewrite Rizzo's big number, There Are Worse Things I Could Do, to be actually Jan's 11 o'clock number, singing about how she wishes she could be with Marty, but instead she has to eat her feelings. So this is There Are Worse Things Jan Could Do. There are worse things I could do than eat a turkey leg or 2. Even though the neighborhood thinks I'm a fatty and no good, I suppose it could be true, but there are worse things I could do. I could flirt with all the pies, sniff at them and feed my thighs, press against them when we dance, stuff some extra in my pants, then reuse them in a stew. That's a thing I'd never do. I could stay home every night as my pants get really tight. Eat cold pizza every day and eat my life away on whipped cream and cupcakes too. I could hurt someone like me from excessive gluttony. I don't run or exercise, but I can boil and I can fry. A fact I'll never knew. But to fry in front of you, that's the worst thing I could do. That song, obviously, very near and dear to my heart. Brian actually was so courteous as to ask if that was for Forbidden Broadway, which, for those who don't know, is a show that parodies Broadway shows. So maybe we'll submit it one day. But that was a very fun show. I could have done it for years and years and years. So before I sing my final number, I have some thank yous, obviously. I want to thank Mr. McKenna for putting this all together. This has really been a treat for me, just to sing in front of people. I don't do it very often since I'm not an actress, and I definitely want to thank all of you for being here, those who are here to support me and those who are just here. It's really, really great to have an audience to sing for. I want to thank the amazing, seriously, like, when I talk about amazing men in my life, I've known Owen Pelesh since he was 12 years old, and every time I see him, he just gets more and more talented. Like, seriously, how good is he? I want to thank my brother Ben for being amazing. Brian and Sarah for being excellent and being really hard acts to follow. And again, just for all of you, thank you so much for coming. This final number actually, in context, has nothing to do with romance or relationships, but it's really about independence and empowerment, and it's really just an amazing song. My friend and colleague, Marcus Stevens, who some in this room may know, he's actually in Forbidden Broadway, alive and kicking. Go see it before it closes in April. And he wrote this wonderful, wonderful show called Yo Vikings, and I had the honor of stage managing it a couple years ago. And this number is just the 11 o'clock number. It's amazing. So your takeaways from tonight, including this number: always be yourself. Don't dwell on the past. Let your inhibitions go sometimes. Don't eat your feelings. And most importantly, just get out there, be independent, be confident, and pray to the Norse gods. And things will go well for you.
Once again, Allie, Steele, Owen, Pelesh. Don't need the stage, but you just made it look really good, you know that? Because our audition was, what, 12 seconds? I was at Delaware Theater Company. I'm assistant director on Outgoing Tide with, for those of you that are old enough to know, Michael Learned from the Waltons and Peter Strauss from Rich Man, Poor Man. And I'm working at, she's working in the office. I pull her down, stop your audition because I had an opening come up. I remember how wonderful she was. in her senior musical, as was Ben, and as was Johnny over there. Johnny's a star in this too. I think it should have been trio, Johnny. I'm not a star in anything, but in any event, put her aside. We went down to the thing. It took about, she sang like 3 notes, said, yeah, you're in, because I knew how great she is, and there's no way you shouldn't be doing cabaret all the time. Owen starred my first show, Next Reunion, which was in here, and it's great. He is a talent. When he does his own cabaret, I will tackle you. You'll do one someday. Yeah. He's fantastic. At this time, I'd like to bring up all of our singers tonight. So at this time, Mr. Brian McKay, Sarah Jackson, and their accompanist, I'd also like to bring up Kim. Come on up. Michael, come on up, please. Michael's a teacher at another school, and also Ben. Come on back up here, Ben. These guys were wonderful. Thank you all for coming out. We're here the first and third Tuesdays of every month. Also, one more plug, if you're not doing anything next month and a half, Hedgerow Theater, we'd love to have you come out. But let's hear it for this wonderful group.